What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Knowledge Check. And this is going to be something a little bit different because I don't have any DM tips or player tips to discuss this time. This is actually the start of a new series. The other videos aren't going away, but talk to some of my patrons about something that I wanted to try out for myself, make myself a little bit better when it comes to my tabletop skills, and put the question out there of, would you all like it if I did a video series where you all could kind of follow along with my progress? And they said, absolutely. So I wanted to do kind of a session zero, if you will, for this series of videos where I am going to take up miniature painting. So yeah, this is a skill set that one of the players on Eberron Renewed, the actual play podcast that we do, Philip, is very skilled at. And for every campaign that we've done together, he's always painted all of the players' minis, given them really cool little mementos of their characters that they can take with them long after the campaign is done. And I really like that. And I've always been, frankly, envious of that skill. So I'm going to ask you all to join me on my journey as I try to become somewhat skilled at this hobby. So, as you can see, what I picked up was the Learn to Paint kit from Reaper for core skills. And what you get in this is actually really cool. You get 11 paints, 3 minis, and 2 brushes. And they say that's everything you need to get started. Now, while I was at the game shop, I picked up a couple extra things. So if you really want to literally follow along with what I'm doing, you can get this for $30 on Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description below. And the additional things you could also find on Amazon. This will not be the end all be all of the kit that I end up with by the end of the series, I'm sure, because 2 brushes doesn't seem like enough, 11 paints doesn't seem like enough, but this is a good jumping off point. So I want to open up the box just so you all can see what we're going to be working with to start this series out. There's a little guide on how to paint the minis that they give you, which I'm going to use as a reference. I'm not an expert. That's the whole point of this is the thing with miniature painting that I have both seen and been told is it's just like any other skill set. You have to stick with it if you want to get better. And the first time around that I tried to paint minis, I painted, I think, 5 miniatures for each of my players for a game that I was running, and they were all terrible because I went to Hobby Lobby and just got regular acrylic paint and didn't thin it out at all, just globbed the stuff on. So all the details went away. It was bad. So I just stopped. I was like, well, clearly I suck at this. I'm not going to do it anymore, which is a bad attitude. So hopefully this will allow us to keep each other accountable as we go on this journey to try to become better miniature painters. I'm not an expert. Resources like what they give you in these kits are things that I'm going to use. I'm not going to literally take you step by step through this. But this is a good reference guide that I'll be referring to, and you should too if you're going to follow along with this. If you're not, if you just want to go grab a brush, some paints, and a mini, that's totally fine because I'm going to show you what I'm working with. And if you want to kind of build your own kit, that's totally cool. Or if you have tried the hobby before and you still have some supplies lying around, grab them, join me. It'll be a blast. So, what we're starting out with, show off the minis first. So, we have what looks like an orc warrior here. And these are Reaper bones, which are plastic minis, and they claim that you don't need primer for them. I'm still on the fence because obviously this little guide it gives you tells you doesn't have primer for you to use, but I'll get to that in a second. We also have a knight with a shield and a sword. The sword is kind of bent, and once we get to painting this guy, I've already found a tutorial on how to fix that when you get a bent mini, so look forward to that episode. And, well, it might be the first episode because the first mini that we're going to paint, because, you know, these 2 minis could very well be PCs in your campaign, the orc and the knight. And you want your PC minis to look really cool. You want your player to get their mini and be like, oh my God, this is exactly the paladin that I had envisioned in my head. You even got the colors right and everything. It's awesome. So we don't want to start off with those. We're going to start off with the lowly skeleton archer, who will be one of many skeletons that your players kill over the course of their campaign. What else I have in the kit are some brushes. They give you 2 specifically. I'm going to try to get these as close as possible. A fairly small, we're going to be using this for dry brushing and like base layers, primer, things like that. um, and any washes that we do over the course of the early stages. And then this brush is your fine detail brush, as you can see by the smaller bristles. Um, and they should come with little plastic covers, like I'm putting back on here. These are really important. You don't want to abuse your brushes, because stuff like this, where you have a fine point, if you're not careful, those bristles are going to separate and get all whacked out. And then you're not going to get the detail that you want when it comes time to paint. Okay. Also have the 11 paints. I'm not going to go through all the colors with you. And before, at the start of each mini, I'll kind of go over which colors we're going to be using. So if you need to go pick out some more colors, you can. The two extra things I got outside of the kit are some white primer, because I know that we're going to be kicking things off. Sorry if you can't quite read the label. This is just the company. It just says Game Color on it. My local game shop had it. But it's just a simple bottle of white primer. You can also get spray-on primer, which Philip swears by, because you can just couple quick shots and you are covered. But this is going to be a more methodical process. We're learning together. So I wanted to get some brush-on primer. And honestly, we're going to be using so little of it early on. This little bottle is going to last me a while. And the last thing I got, because I didn't open this up to read the instructions beforehand, I got from the Army Painter brand, a wash, a soft tone wash, because I've seen enough tutorials to see what minis look like with and without washes, and there's a big difference. So, but in this little kit here, it's actually going to teach you how to make washes out of paint as well. So you don't necessarily need to go out and buy this right away. Everything we need is in this kit, and maybe the primer. I'm still up in the air. For the skeleton, since the skeleton is going to be white anyway, we're going to be painting with white paint, I'll probably stick with just painting straight on to the mini, just to see how that goes, and then moving forward, we can try it out. So yeah, that is what I've got in the kit. Some other big things that you're going to want to get, just general supplies. When you see the next video go live and you want to sit down, hop in, have a great time painting some minis, I'm going to be using a paper plate for my palette starting out, but we're going to make a wet palette out of it, and I'll walk you through that in the first video, kind of getting set up. Just stick that back there. But yeah, the big thing I want to say to you all is not get discouraged, because that's what happened to me when I first tried painting minis. And some of you may be coming in from the same place I am of, man, the first time I tried it, I really sucked at it. It was not fun. But once you get adjusted to it, once you really kind of learn and things start to become second nature, it will become fun. It will become a kind of Zen-like time where you can just sit there with a mini, maybe watching Critical Role, listening to a podcast maybe, and get some minis knocked out and make these really cool things for either yourself. If you are a player, getting to make your own mini will, I think, just heighten the attachment that you have to that character. Or if you're a DM, making those things for your players is a great gesture. And unpainted minis are a lot cheaper than painted minis. And so getting to go out and buy a 6 set of kobolds and paint them yourself and throw them on your table is going to be a great deal of satisfaction. But starting out, it's going to be simple. We're going to paint the skeleton, and there's a few different steps. It's going to have us do some dry brushing, do some washes. So it'll be a good, well-rounded first attempt. And what I would love to see, either on the Facebook group, if you're one of the patrons, in the Discord, on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you like, show me your minis. I'm going to be showing you mine, obviously, because we're going to be doing this together and you're going to get to watch me do it. But I want to see how you all are doing. I want to see how you all are progressing, because that's kind of the reason why I'm doing this, is knowing that there are people out there doing it along with me will keep me from giving up. And hopefully we can learn some stuff together. I would love to have some guests on this show that know a bit more about miniature painting to speak about it. But yeah, this is a kind of subset to the Knowledge Check channel, where we're going to paint some minis. The other videos aren't going away, like I said. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm really excited to get started. I'm going to show you the kit one more time. There will be a link down in the description. But, if you have a local game shop that you can go to support and pick this up, I got this at my local game shop, and it was $9 more than it is on Amazon. So that was worth it to me to support a local business and support my friendly local game store. So yeah, Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.